Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tit-Bits on Business and Finance with me. It's become a very routine, common affair, almost on a daily basis. We hear of very stringent action being taken by investigation and criminal agencies against the rich and powerful who had committed very serious crimes but had got away without any punishment so far. Forget punishment, they were very often not even investigated for these criminal actions of theirs. The era of entitlement and privileges, where the rich and powerful, the influential and well connected, could get away with serious crimes like corruption, money laundering, tax evasion, cheating, etc. That era seems to be getting over in India, and action is being taken against these very powerful individuals by almost all criminal and investigation agencies. The list of such persons against whom action is now being taken and we can see action being taken is a long one, and it will continue to get longer. And the reason is that these powerful individuals have got away with very serious criminal economic offenses for decades together, and it is now all coming out in the open. Let's discuss a few of these cases which have hit the headlines in recent times. Let's start with Chanda Kochhar, the powerful former CEO of ICICI Bank and a Padma Bhushan awardee, who of course must have been a regular system operator. She is being investigated by CBI on charges of corruption, criminal misconduct and misuse of power. She, along with her husband, are being investigated by ED for money laundering and by the Income Tax Department on charges of tax evasion. All agencies have rightly swooped in on them. The flamboyant former Civil Aviation Minister, NCP leader Praful Patel, is now being investigated by the Enforcement Directorate for his dubious role in the 60,000 crore purchase of aircraft by Air India, which actually bankrupted Air India. He was the Civil Aviation Minister at that point of time. He's also being investigated for the dubious sale of Air India's valuable landing rights in airports like Heathrow to Jet Airways for a song, which actually took away valuable assets of Air India. He's being investigated for that also. Then comes Naresh Goyal, the wily operator who was said to have survived anybody and everybody who was in power at that point of time. And he managed to game and manipulate the system, but not any longer. Jet Airways is likely to be liquidated very soon, and it will open up Pandora's box for him. He is already being investigated by the Income Tax Department on serious charges of tax evasion. The ED is also questioning and summoning him in respect of a FEMA violation which took place when his company, Jet Privileges, was sold to a Dubai entity. He's already under investigation for that. We then come to the likes of Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi. These two individuals must have thought that they can get away with crime by cheating banks in India and running away to England. Not anymore. The Indian government is fiercely contesting its cases in the British courts, and it is very likely that these two gentlemen will be sent back to India to face the law here and be punished for the crimes that they committed here. Something similar is in the offing for Jatin Mehta of Vincent Diamonds and also the Sandesh Saras of Sterling Biotech, both of whom have cheated banks for thousands of crores and are fugitives who have run away abroad. In fact, in the case of Jatin Mehta, the CBI has recently filed 3 criminal cases against him for cheating banks. We then come to ILFS and IFIN. The powerful, influential directors of IFIN, which is Hari Shankar and Ramesh Baba, etc., have been arrested by SFIO on a host of charges. They are also being questioned by CBI, by the Enforcement Directorate, by Income Tax Department and the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Charges of corruption, cheating, defrauding, fraudulent statements signed by them, and all those kinds, resulting in a huge loss of public money. If the directors of IFIN are being arrested and investigated, so is the case of its auditors. Its former auditor, Deloitte's CEO, Udayan Sen is being questioned by the ED on charges of money laundering. Various other such investigations are bound to follow against the auditors of IFIN who had signed statements, financial statements which were not correct. A whole list of investigation is opening against these auditors. Had we ever heard of powerful auditors like Deloitte, which is a multinational accounting firm, ever being investigated by criminal agencies and its CEO being questioned for his fraudulent and unscrupulous role in the entire scam of IFIN and ILFS? It did never happen earlier. In fact, PwC has been banned by SEBI last year for a period of 2 years from undertaking any audit of a listed company in India for its scammy role in the audit of Satyam, a huge fraud that had been reported over 10 years ago. Because of such actions, auditors are now resigning right, left and center. And the latest one to resign, the prominent one, is PwC. It resigned from the audit assignments of the Anil Ambani Reliance group of companies, citing various reasons. It did not do so earlier, even though those very reasons were even present in the financial statements that it certified as true and fair in the earlier years. So, well-known, large, powerful, influential audit firms are also facing the heat. If audit firms are facing the heat, so are billionaire tycoons like Anil Ambani. Anil Ambani, who is known to have straddled the Indian system for decades, was declared guilty of contempt of court by the Supreme Court a few months ago, leading him to personally pay the amount that was due by Reliance Communications to Ericsson. In fact, he himself says that in his struggle to survive, in his struggle to keep his companies afloat, he has been receiving no support of the system, particularly the banking system. He says he's doing it all on his own. That's surprising because in the olden times, this system would have been there to support him. Today's newspaper says that Yash Billa, the socialite industrialist of Mumbai, has been declared a willful defaulter. The scammy, fraudulent affairs of J&K Bank, a bank whose fraudulent affairs were known to the politicians in power for decades, and they in fact benefited out of the frauds of J&K Bank. Those affairs are all out in the open. And the biggest shocker has been Pranay Roy and his wife Radhika Roy being declared guilty of very serious violation of SEBI regulations, and they have been banned from holding any post in NDTV and any listed company for the next 2 years. They've even been banned from accessing the capital markets in India, and they have been held to be having conducted a fraud in NDTV. These were actually unthinkable because even the Roys are known to be extremely powerful, influential and well-connected individuals. What we are seeing is a big change. We are seeing that those in power, those who have been influential, are now not above the law. The agencies are hounding them. The agencies are interrogating them. The agencies are filing charges against them. And in most of the cases, as we see, there are serious crimes committed by these well-connected individuals. The law of the land is catching with them. You can be sure that this list will only get longer because, as I said, the government is investigating such crimes which were committed for decades. They are now coming out in the open. And this is happening because of stronger and strengthened laws, far better surveillance mechanisms available with the government, and the most important, a determined government. The government is willing to take action against these individuals who have duped the system, who have belittled the law, who have unjustly benefited by looting the system. And it is because of this determination of the government to pursue cases against them that we are seeing a change in the way the big ones are being taken to task. This actually comes with a warning yet. And the warning is the government is a powerful agency. It has got all the powers and tools at its disposal to reprimand and punish people. But that must be done without any fear or favor. And it cannot be done to settle political scores or to go on a witch hunting, which has often happened in the past we do hope that this kind of selective punishment or political witch hunting or actions taken to settle political scores are not repeated. And if that happens, the trust and pride of the common man in the law and the enforcers of the law will actually go up. We are seeing a changing time in India. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.